Hi, I'm Dr. M. Kamakshaya, open source software evangelist and a full stack R Python developer. This is one of my videocasts which relates to a series of presentations, and that belongs to writing programs using Python programming language. In my previous video, I've explained how to obtain Python, and also I didn't show you how to install because I'm using Ubuntu 18.04, in which by default I'll get Python when I install operating system, but that is not the case if you are using Windows or any other operating system. You need to obtain Python from the python.org, which I spoke in my previous video cast. And once after you, I imagine that you already installed Python and it is ready with you. And I also told you to make sure that you have IDLE. This is a I think Python native. This is one of the special IDE, which means integrated development environment. But we don't call it as IDLE because it's learning purposes. IDLE is used for learning. This is a testing mode. By the way, I didn't tell you how to open Python in computer. There are two ways you can open Python. So once after verifying that you have Python in your computer, you can choose to go for Python 2.7 or Python 3.6 or 3. We simply call it as 3. So you can just start writing Python 3 and press enter. When you execute the statement, now the Python interpreter is open for your work, and this is called Python prompt. These 3 greater than symbols, and this particular environment is known as REPLE. REPLE stands for read, eval, print, loop, something like that. So now whatever you write here, and this is going to be installed, this is going to be executed for your user purposes. I'm trying to print a statement called hello. Now you see it prints hello, something like that. And you can also continue working with Python in this way using REPLE in terminal. There is another way. You can open IDLE. In Ubuntu 18.04, I press Alt F1 and I will get this my dash, and now I can use IDLE, something like this. There are 2 applications here. You can choose any one of them, doesn't matter. So once you press this, then you will get this IDLE editor. Now the IDLE editor is in testing mode, which means you have a command prompt, which means a Python prompt here. Now we can start working with IDLE. Now there are a few things which you need to understand. IDLE has got quite a few menus. Now you have a file for creating a new file and opening a file. To open a file and to open a module, and also you can say a recent file, something like that. To browse for a module, or there are many things like you can save as. These are all common. These are the submenus which you commonly observe in any programming editor. Now next you have edit, and you have same common submenus like undo, redo, cut, paste kind of things. And here you have the shell. You can the one best utility of this menu is restarting shell. Sometimes whenever it crash or may go wrong with your execution, you can interrupt the execution or you can restart the shell. That really helps you. There are also shortcuts here. You can just read these shortcuts and keep practicing them in order to increase your productivity at writing the software applications. Now you have the debug, and rarely we come here, and you have the options. You can configure the IDLE by most of the time I go to this place in order to increase the font size so that it is distinctly visible to the learners. And you can also make quite a few, highlight. You have colors which are very important for. This is one fundamental difference between REPL and using IDLE. So we like IDLE because we have color codes. It is easy for us to find whenever we do the mistakes while on the work. It is easy to find the mistakes while on the work, which means the interpreter will, the IDLE will highlight that we did a mistake on the go, something like that. Now you have the extensions and many things this is how we understand IDLE. Now you don't need to go to any class, or you don't need to sit with a lecturer to understand to learn Python, you have quite tons and tons of information online. Now I'll show you one very important place, the same thing which I've shown you in my previous video, that is docs. Now you don't need to go to the portal python.org. You can just write Python documentation or documentations. Now straight away you will be taken to the documentation. Now you have the tutorial, something like this. You have quite a few things here. You can go to Python 3, that is the recent version. Now you have the tutorial here, and side you have the versions here. You can go for the 2.7. you have 3.9. It is still in development. Now 3.8 is a stable version, but I have 3.6 with me. Now go to the tutorial and you can start reading what is Python from here. But I'm going to talk something which is not written in this documentation, that is that are very fundamentals. Okay, suppose if you soon after you open the IDLE, you will come to know what is the Python version, that you don't need to execute a separate command just like this to know which version you are using. So I'm using 3.6.9. I did not update my Python distribution in my computer. Now suppose if I print is the very first one, that I write hello, then I am requesting Python to print hello back in the standard input output as a standard stdio operation, something like this. Now there is very fundamental yet useful command which is called as dir. It's called dir, which when you execute this command, you will come to know what are the objects, ingredients that are available in your workspace. Now by the way, if you don't know what is an environment, workspace, namespace, etc., you need to read more and more, because the objective of this video cast is not that is core programming aspects. So if you wanted to be a very hardcore programmer, then you need to study a few other concepts that are very closely related to Python programming language. I'm not going to deal with them. I'm going to assume that you're wearing a gown of user. So I'm going to give you these demonstrations and tinker these demonstrations by assuming that you are a user. So as a user, we just use Python. We don't it doesn't mean that we are not involved in coding. We write programs, but from the user perspective, not from the developer perspective, something like that. Now when I execute this function dir, now these are the things which I have annotations, these are all software, these are the reserved keywords. We are not very much worried about it. If you observe, apart from them, I think I have all underscore. I don't have any user created object. Now let me create an object. I'm going to create an object with the name x, and this is how I am going to do that in Python. And this object is just a list, or maybe I can talk we never went to the extent of list. And let me save a value which is an integer, like just 12 is an integer. I'm going to say it is a numeric value. I'm going to save this value in an object called x. Now this is how it can be done in Python. Now I create an object if Python is silent, which means otherwise you will get an error with red color text. I didn't get that, which means Python has accepted my statement. It is a valid statement. Now if I want to go back and see what is there in x in this object, now you see you have 12. Now suppose I want to know what is the type of this object. Now you have a function called type, and this is a class. This object x belongs to a class called int or integer. Int stands for integer. Now suppose if I want to say a decimal value, let's see what's going to happen. Now type. Now I don't need to write the same. If you press Alt P a couple of times, you'll go back into the history. You can stand exactly in any point where the required command is available for you. There you can just press enter, so that you will get, now x has a value 1.555. this is a decimal value. Now you see the type of the class of the object is not int, now it is float. So there are two different data types. We can deal with integers, we can also deal with float values. There is another type of object called there are many types, and all the types are not important for us. We need to study only a few types which are very important for us to deal with data science and analytics, because as I said, The main objective of this video cast is to explain how to deal with data science using Python. Now I'm going to save a string, and I'm just going to write Kamaksha or something like that. This is my name, and now same, I go to the history. Now it is a string. You see, and let's see if I can save a weird number. Sometimes we call it as I2. This is a complex number. Oh my god, I think I need to make 2 here. No, I think there is a way you need to use a command called complex 1,2 something like this. Now you are going to return, so when I press Python will return a complex number. In the same fashion, you have Python is a gigantic calculator, but you can't do anything. You can do arithmetic operations or very petty, 1 multiplied all. This is addition, multiplication, and now subtraction, something 1 divided by 2. These are all, we call operators. They're all arithmetic operator, multiplier, subtraction, divide, and there is a floor division, 2 times use forward slash, and then now you got the reminder. Okay, it's not a reminder, it's a, I think it should be reminder or something like that, quotient or reminder. Which one is a quotient, which one reminder? You just see that, and you have a power that 1 to the power of we use 2 times use star and use, no, I'll go for 2 times you put asterisk and then use 2. You can imagine now what I'm trying to do. It is going to be 4, and square root you have I think I have square root in the, I think you don't have square root in the base function. You need to go for math module. Yes, I will define, I'll clear this junk with the help of a function. I'm creating a function anyway. I didn't deal with functions. I'll open the talk about the functions later, but for time being I have to, there's no way to clear ideally. The only way is to create a function and then make use of it. I'm just creating a function to print a new line n number of times, and now clear 50. Now I think you can clean your, you can clean something like that. Clear 10. Your cursor just moves up, that's it, nothing. You are not going to do anything. Now import a module called math. By the way, this is a base module. And let me tell you one important thing. So how do you know that which modules are there in your computer? This is how you exit the Python shell or console. You need to execute a statement exit as a function, just like opening a parenthesis and closing parenthesis. You'll come out of that. Now suppose if I want to know what are the different modules that were being installed in my computer along with Python, or what are the different packages which I can use along with Python, something like that. You have a command called pydoc. You see, when I press tab button on my keyboard, it autofill the statement without my being typed it. Now you can just run module, something like that. I can couple of times. I don't know if I can. It's not modules. I think it is modules. Pydoc modules. You see, it's now executing this. You'll get all different modules that were being installed. I mean, those are available for Python for me to do my. These are all the modules which I can use in order to work with Python, something like that. There is another way. If you had installed Python, pip, you can install, by the way, pip as sudo apt get install Python. If it is 3.3, otherwise leave as pip, something like this. I'm not going to install because I already have pip3 in my computer. Don't have 2 different pips. It is always better to have pip3 freeze. Now if you use this, then pip will give you a list of all modules which were installed in your. These are the 2 ways to check. Suppose I want to check for a particular module, because that is the advantage of using Ubuntu or Linux operating system, terminal in Ubuntu operating system. Pip freeze, and I am searching for a particular package called grep Flask. I don't know. I'm just yeah, Flask. So if your terminal shows a line like this, which means the Flask Python the package is available for you to work with Python, something like this. This is very essential and important thing to know well before you work with Python. But you cannot do that inside the IDE. You have to do only in your terminal. You can do all these same actions even in Windows. Now let me use math module. So now let me show you if I have the math or not. Now, because math is a base module, you don't need to check like this. When you install Python, there are few modules that are automatically installed for user benefit. Now you can just press yeah, it is not visible because the math is there inside Python base. It is not user module. I did not install Python, that is why it is not showing me that whether the module is there or not. So it is there. So when I import the math with this statement, anyway, I didn't start the discussion on importing the modules, but anyway, this is a small thing. I just wanted to demonstrate you the power of Python as a computer. You need to have this math. When you execute the statement without error, which means the math module is there. So we don't need to check in the terminal separately whether that is there in our computer or not. Now let me go and do a couple of things, like suppose if I want to make a complex square root, I should not say square root like this, math square root of 4 and then plus 5 to the power of 2. Frankly speaking, I don't know what is the value of this. I'm just doing it. Now you'll get this value. So that way you can also work with 2.5 times sine 30 is going to math 30. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting this because I'm just doing this as an OR. You get a value. Now you can create a number of things. I mean, if you have any peculiar function like pi, sometimes we make use of 2 multiplied by pi, math pi, then you should be able to, your float object cannot be multiplied with, is not callable. Let me first float object, no, pi, no, okay, where do you have pi? In math you don't have pi. Math pi, yeah, math pi, something like this, 2 multiplied by math pi, something like this. And you can also make 30, 1.5 maybe radians or something, sine 30 to the power of math pi. Sine is not yeah, math sine. Frankly speaking, I don't know what is the value of this, but anyway, it gives me back the value. That's good, fine. So this way we can start working with Python. I just told you in this video, I've just explained you about how to deal with a few data types like integer, float, string, and also a module called math, and build complex formulas using Python. This is sufficient for this video, and meet you back in my next video. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned and subscribe to my video channel. Thanks again for watching this video.